that I will raise you a prophet from your brethren.
Yep.
Okay. The term brethren can refer to Israelites and non-Israelites, in particular the Arabs.
Okay.
Because the same term in the Bible refers to Edomites.
Well,
Edomites. Are you Muhammad doesn't have to be a descendant of Ishmael. Are you aware of that?
Right. So who are you saying he is?
He's an Arabian prophet. So just to respond to your point, I don't have to prove to you that Muhammad was a direct descendant of Ishmael. He was. I will prove that to you.
Okay.
But I'm just simply giving you a side point that I don't even have to prove to you that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a direct descendant of Ishmael. I don't have to, because the Bible doesn't put that condition.
No,
Okay.
But it does say brethren, and the context seems to be quite clear when it says brethren.
Well, he was an
That's
Arab.
the 12
Muhammad
tribes of
was
Israel.
Muhammad was definitely an Arab. Whether he was a descendant of Ishmael or not can be addressed. Sorry.
I hate this rain. It's very distracting.
Well, we call it the mercy of God. When we don't have it, we're praying for it.
Yeah.
You're from Australia.
I'm from Australia.
Recently,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were praying for rain. And
Yeah, my name's
Muslim.
Caleb, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
What is it, Adnan?
Adnan, yes,
Adnan.
Adnan. And recently, Muslims came out to pray for rain, so that
Okay.
yeah, and it was a good
Why don't we read
human
the verse?
endeavor.
Why don't we read the verse
Yeah,
and then talk about it?
absolutely.
So why don't I start verse 14 to. Actually, I don't even have written down. Let me
But
get the
before
actual-
you read, I want to quickly highlight something, that we don't read biblical verses in isolation. What we do is we read them in light of other biblical verses. So we'll read the Bible, or we try to read the Bible holistically, although Bible is patchwork. Even biblical scholars have repeatedly highlighted.
Well, the textual criticism is another issue. The passage that I quoted from the Quran
Okay.
was in what they have of the Torah and the Gospel.
I understand. The question I am trying to address is, can we read the Bible as a uniform text from Genesis to Revelation? No. None of the Christian scholars, none of the Jewish scholars ever claim that. You have to
What do you
read,
mean by a unified text?
because the Bible currently as it is patchwork. Verses have been put together by different people in different places at different times, right? And this is very, very clear
I think we're talking about a different topic.
Yes,
here.
you're right.
Well,
You're right, but that topic is directly relevant to the prophecies
Not,
we're
not
discussing.
really, because what I'm trying to say is that in Surah 7, 157, it says that you will find written in the described in the Torah and the Gospel.
Yes.
The unlettered prophet.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And a lot of Muslims point to Deuteronomy 18.
No,
And
we
it
point
says
to other.
in what they have of the Torah and the Gospel.
We point to other passages as well.
But,
So
but-
when
yeah, but you do point to Deuteronomy 18.
we do, it's one of them.
So my
Yes.
point is that if we take that, then we look at that passage, especially starting at verse 14 and 15. What is the evidence there that that's talking about Muhammad? And I wanted to read the passage.
It doesn't mention Muhammad. It does not.
Yeah,
It does not
describes
mention Muhammad.
him.
It gives you ideas. It points to the direction
Why don't I
of
read
a
it?
prophet. Yeah, a prophet coming.
Why don't I read it?
And wait. So that we have a fruitful discussion very quickly. You can read it. Why are we saying that Deuteronomy 18:18 is still unfulfilled as late as the period of Jesus, when Jesus was
I don't
walking
think it
there?
is unfulfilled.
Okay, that's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, if it was fulfilled, who was it fulfilled in?
Jesus.
Jesus. Okay, you're saying Deuteronomy 18:18 is
I mean, I was
strong.
going to say it was Paul then Muhammad.
Okay, now that's the point we need to address. Instead of going into long
But we need to read the
hermeneutic
passage. We need to
exercises.
read the passage first.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Let's
Go
read
ahead. That's fair enough. Go ahead. Read the passage.
I'm reading
And
from
we can-
the NIV, right? But I will, instead of saying fellow Israelites, I'll say brethren, right?
If it's not too troublesome, can we get an umbrella? Because okay, thank you.
Okay. So,
Yeah, no, this is better.
verse 15 of chapter 18 of Deuteronomy. The Lord
Okay.
your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites, or from your brethren, okay?
Okay, this translation I don't
That's
know.
fine.
Yeah.
We'll say from brethren.
Is that in brackets?
No? This is NIV.
your NIV, which is very much theologically driven. I don't know if you.
I think it's a good translation. But
No, it's a good translation. I agree with that.
But
But
I'm
you know
happy to
that
just say
that
brethren.
term Israelites.
I'm just happy to say brethren for you. I'll say brethren.
Oh,
Right.
so it's not
When
there.
it says brethren in that context, the
No, no,
meaning
no, no,
is fellow
no, no, no.
Israelites. We can debate that point.
Wait, the
We can
word,
debate that point.
the words fellow Israelites is missing completely from the Hebrew text, from
It says
all
It
manuscripts.
says brethren, but the context of
Yes.
brethren is
No,
fellow
this is
Israelites.
this is something you're imposing on it,
No, this is something
because
that is just
brethren
filling in
is
the
a very
meaning.
general term, which we can talk about. It can mean Israelites, no doubt.
Let's
it can
go-
mean Israelites.
Let me change it
It
to
can
King
also
James
mean
for you.
non-Israelites.
Oh, how will King James sort you? Will that be any good for you? All right, let me read it, King James, right?
No, but why don't we go to Hebrew? Isn't that
Well, we
better?
know the word is brethren,
Exactly. Okay.
I've no
now,
problems with that.
now the issue is.
but we
Bret-
haven't read the passage. Let's read the passage.
No, because if you're going to read something which is not in Hebrew, I will have to highlight
that's
that.
fine. Okay,
yeah.
we'll do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
The Lord, which is Yahweh in Hebrew, right, capital, thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh, my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And when the Lord said this, and when the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken, I will raise up for them a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. So the first thing I wanted to point out here is that it says there has to be a prophet like Moses.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We agree. So
in
here
the context, what does
let's
that
agree.
mean?
Let's agree first. The term is brethren, not Israelites. Yes.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. And a prophet who will come in the future will be a prophet like Moses.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there's a context to it though.
All right. What's the
The
context?
context is verse 15.
Okay, which
where
is what?
It says,
Read it, please.
verse 16. According to all that you desired of the Lord your God,
Yeah.
in Horeb the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. So the context is, when they went to the Mount Horeb, God spoke out of the fire to the people, but they didn't want to hear anymore.
Okay.
And so they wanted Moses to speak to God and then bring the message to them
Sure.
from God. That's
Sure.
the context here. So
That's amazing. That fits well into
Well,
the profile of Muhammad.
So,
we
so
will
let's
see
just
how.
clarify.
Yeah.
So Moses, in other passages in Numbers, it says that Moses would go and speak.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I took the other one.
Moses would go and speak to God.
Yeah.
God would appear to him. He appeared to him in the burning bush. He appeared to him in a pillar
Okay.
of cloud.
Okay.
He would speak to him. He would give him the commands, and then he would take that command
Okay.
and give it to the people.
Okay.
That is how Moses.
My
revealed his
understanding-
That's what it means to be like Moses. There's nothing else in the context. That's all it says about what it means to be like Moses.
Thank you for that. I understand your concerns about this. How we understand this particular verse and verses around this verse is that not every single aspect of Moses' life has to be fulfilled in this coming prophet. For example,
Yeah, it's just that one point.
Okay, there are few things that are very similar to Moses in Muhammad, and those things cannot be found in Jesus.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Let
Yeah,
me explain.
But all this is saying is that, like Moses,
Yes.
all it means.
So let's
is
see
one
how
thing.
how Muhammad was like Moses. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. Let's say he was 100%, 98% like Moses, and Jesus was
And
like
Jesus
20%
was-
like
Jesus-
Moses,
no,
right?
yeah.
That's not really relevant. The point that is being made here in verse 16 is that, like Moses, is what they asked, what Israel asked.
Like Moses.
No, yeah,
Yes.
but no, they didn't ask like Moses. They
Yeah.
asked
Yeah.
that Moses would speak to God for them,
Right.
and that he would speak directly to God,
Yes.
rather than God speaking directly to them.
Okay.
So when it says like Moses, the
So this is
context
exactly what
very
happened
clear.
with Muhammad.
No, Muhammad spoke number one to the angel Gabriel,
Right.
and also the Qurans were the
No,
revelations were
no,
revealed
we know
to
Muhammad.
him
No, you're wrong.
in
You're wrong.
trances and things like
You're
that.
mistaken about that. Muhammad did speak to God
When I read
directly.
Ahmed did that, he was very clear that he.
Let me clarify something. Christians, our brothers around the world, they have to move on from Ahmadiyyat. Sheikh Ahmadiyyat did what he did, and we appreciate his work, but Muhammad, peace be upon him, did speak to God directly when he went on the night journey, Mi'raj. He had a conversation with God. We have been told in prophetic tradition,
Do you know what
and we have reports and the details are there. 5 daily prayers were made obligatory directly by God Himself.